Welcome to the Tallen Time podcast, featuring entrepreneur and philanthropist Terry Tallen and longtime award-winning journalist Tom Brew. We'll be telling you stories from around the country about sports, business, philanthropy, and mentoring. It's a full season of podcasts right here at TallenTime.com. And welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Tom Brew back with you here at the beautiful Marquis Marriott Hotel in Atlanta. I'm very happy today for this episode of Tallen Time podcast to have Terry Tallen with us, of course, and Jim Poole, the president and CEO of NuCalm. We've got a wonderful, wonderful show to talk about today. So, guys, thanks for being here and thanks for being a part of it.
Thanks so much, Tom. It's great to be back here in Atlanta. We're fresh off a meeting with the Atlanta Falcons and seeing some of our friends over there. And we're honored to have Jim Poole on the show with us today. Jim and I have known each other for a number of years now. Jim was kind enough to invite me to be a board member of NuCalm. I gladly and graciously accepted, and we were on the path of continuing Jim's great work to change the world as best we can with the neuroscience of NuCalm. Today's show also touches on three of the aspects of our show on Talent Time. One is business, one is leadership, and one is health and wellness through the athletic process. One of the fascinating things about Jim is not only his leadership skills, it's the number of people that he's been able to bring in that are very interested in promulgating the missives of NuCalm, one of which is Tony Robbins. We'll talk about that and a few other people later. We also have the situation where they've trained the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors, as you know, and me, living in the Bay Area at this time, watching the Warriors win the World Championship was a big deal, and we love to see that. So, Jim, without further ado, we want to introduce you to our audience, and we'll have some questions and back and forth. But tell us about NuCalm.
NuCalm, awesome. We specialize in stress management. We don't really take the aspect of managing your stress. We've actually figured out a way to solve stress. This is a really big deal. Stress has a nefarious way of finding its way into every aspect of our life, from emotional dysfunction, psychological dysfunction, physical elements, compromised sleep, disease. In fact, 95% of all disease is created by stress. So foundationally, as a human, if you want to perform better, emotionally, psychologically, physically, if we can slow down the stress response, we liberate you to become the best form of you possible. So NuCalm was developed by a neuroscientist, quantum physicist, naturopath, over a 32-year discovery and invention path. Very, very complicated neuroscience, but here's why this is so cool. It's really easy to use, because if it weren't easy, we wouldn't be here right now.
That's right. And one of the fascinating things about this also, we want to hear more about the path and the journey. One of the fascinating things about this also is the path and the journey, the transition that you led the company on, taking it from an FDA Class 3 medical device to a modern, actual program that everyone can buy.
That was really important. When you uncover something so profound, a technology that can help manage stress for humans, there's 7.6 billion people. There's not one person on earth that's effectively managing stress. It doesn't work that way. So when you find a tech that can do this without drugs, do it with predictability, and do it with ease, you have to get it to the people. Now, when you're selling a $6,000 highly regulated Class 2 medical device, you're not achieving your goal. So yes, we spent 4 years with invention. We spent 4 years figuring out the proper way to make this easier to use and more affordable. Because without that, we're not going to be here helping humanity.
Yeah, Jim, I guess the one thing we can do first is just to help explain to people a little bit like how it works and what NuCalm does, and because you as you just mentioned, it's part of this thing now where it is something that everyday people can use, and certainly even in a price range and all that stuff. But how does it work, and how is it different from some of the other things that we've seen? Because I know you've mentioned before in some of your stuff, with all the data and neuroscience that's behind it, there really isn't anything else like this, but there's sort of like-minded things. So tell us more about how NuCalm works and what makes that happen.
So how does NuCalm work? NuCalm uses biochemistry and physics to simply slow down your brainwave function. It's very complicated. We're not going to get deep into the physics. But let's think about this as caffeine. You wake up mentally, you're lethargic, you're not really eager to take on the day, you have a cup of coffee. All of a sudden your brain starts to think faster. Well, this isn't magic, it simply accelerated the frequency of your brain. Another cup of coffee, you're thinking even more clearly, you're more optimistic, and you're doing your to-do list with more efficiency. NuCalm is the opposite. NuCalm is going to actually down-regulate your stress. It's going to slow down your brainwave function to a frequency that's called alpha and theta. Alpha is 12 hertz to 8 hertz, slower waveform, and it's synonymous with creativity, being in the zone, and being relaxed. But theta is the key to healing. Theta is a slower waveform just above sleep, and it's 7 hertz to 4 hertz. And when our brainwave is in that state, like a lucid dream state, two things are happening that are really important for our longevity and our ability to perform at our highest level. Number one, your cells are doing their cell maintenance and they're cleaning toxins out of the cells. And number two, your mitochondria is being restored. These two elements create what's called the healing zone. But the problem is, after we go through puberty, our body is dysregulated. We're hormonally dysregulated. Our circadian rhythms are dysregulated. Our biorhythms are dysregulated. And we're gliding through this part of sleep too quickly. We're not getting enough restorative sleep. Now, as a kid, you can still go. You can still run through walls and achieve your goals. But as we get older, the cumulative negative consequence of not taking care of our stress catches up with us. So NuCalm uses biochemistry in the form of this disc that's applied to your inner left wrist. This is slowing down adrenaline. Then you have an eye mask just to block out light. And then the method of action of this science is based on physics and algorithms, tricking your brain. We use a simple form of audio. You listen to nice music, but underneath the music is over 1 gigabyte of mathematics, simply pacing your brain like a NASCAR pace car. You don't have to do anything. You just find a comfortable place and give us some time, and your mind will go to this state. And when you get up, you feel amazing because you've been in the healing zone for a concentrated amount of time.
Right. So, Jim, we've known each other for a while now, and one of the things that intrigued me outside of the great chemistry and the great product that you're putting out there is your background. Now, Jim, you have an MBA from Babson University, which is one of the terrific business schools in the country. Arthur Blank, in honor of AMV in Atlanta today, he's also a graduate of their management business program. You also had training in medical, and I believe you were one time obtained becoming a physician. And so what we look for leaders, we look for people that we invest in, and we look for guests on the show. We want people that have a variety of backgrounds that can talk to a number of things all around what they're doing. And this is a perfect fit for our audience because we have a lot of young people also that are trying to find their way. We're mentoring student athletes that are saying, "Oh gosh, now my playing days are over. What do I do?" And of course, we stress education, we stress hard work, and we also look to those to be role models and examples, which I think you were terrific with. So if you tell us a little bit about that, and how did you invent NuCalm?
I didn't invent NuCalm. I don't have even close to the intelligence to invent NuCalm, but I discovered NuCalm because I had success in business. And so that success led me to the neuroscientist, or the neuroscientist to me. But it's funny that you mentioned kids coming out of school, and if they make it to the pros or don't make it to the pros, they have a life to live, and the stress must be profound. And so my advice to children is the same advice I give to my children. Hard work. There's nothing easy in this world, and we fall for it. We fall for the shiny object, and we think, hey, there's an easier path. There isn't. A good work ethic is really imperative, and as an athlete, you establish that work ethic. And if you start with talents and you don't put in the work, the people who put in the work pass you by. You see this all the time. Secondarily, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Life is to be lived, and you're going to follow a path that typically is not linear. Very few people know what they want to do when they're young and establish that and achieve that when they're older. It's a circuitous path. I chose the path to follow the footsteps of my parents. I was raised by 2 psychotherapists. I was raised to be socially conditioned to take care of people who are less fortunate and take care of people who are sick. So I followed that path. I did therapy for state mental health institutions in Massachusetts for 5 years. And in parallel, I did a post-baccalaureate sponsorship program at Harvard Medical School, and then applied for neuropsychopathology and MD PhD. That's a lot of big words. It was an intense path, and it is 8 years of further education. At some point, I decided to stop that path and go to 2 years of Babson. So I have a background and an inherent interest in brain science. Then I got into private equity. I managed a strategic management consulting firm that did M&A for venture capital, private equity, taking over companies, big, small cap, mid cap, and even public companies. And that aspect of it really allowed me to take two aspects of my life. One, a good work ethic, right? Number two, the psychology background. Psychology is amazing because it may not be activity-based cost accounting or supply chain or price sensitivity analysis or some of the stuff that you have to do to run a business. But if you can inspire your team to follow your leadership and do the right tasks at the right time for the betterment of the business, you will fail. So that, and you see this in sports, you see this in the leadership of a captain. Some lead by example, some lead by being verbose and really rallying the troops. So my advice to the youth out there is don't lose your passion. Don't put too much pressure on your future. Live by what engages you. When you follow something that you like, you rarely feel like you're working hard because you're going to have to work hard to be successful.
Amen. That is so true. One of the things that stood out to me about what you just said about the psychology background and the education in that, the great automotive leader, Lee Iacocca, said that was the greatest education that he had to prepare him for climbing the corporate ladder, through Ford and thereon, Chrysler and so forth, by having that educational background. And, something too for our young athletes, our pro athletes, our women and men business leaders, for everyone that watches the show, is dealing with stress. I personally use NuCalm. It has helped me tremendously, not only with the day-to-day rigors that come from being, an entrepreneur and running a commercial real estate investment business, but also from the standpoint of visualizing, of seeing your goals before you achieve them. As we've always said, Fred Glass always says, if you can see it, you can achieve it. And that's been an age-old axiom. And so what I use NuCalm for, among other things, especially the deep sleep aspect, but the focus is a terrific benefit to me because it'll allow me, maybe it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we've not working since 5 or 6 a.m., to take that 30 or 40 minutes, sit down, relax, put on my mask, and we'll show the mask a little bit later, and visualize what I want to accomplish with my deals. And one of the things that it's helped me with also is not trying to think 10 steps ahead on each deal, which many of us, I'll speak to my industry, commercial real estate investment, we tend to think way ahead. And sometimes it's better just to live in the present, know what your goals are, have that firm vision of your goal, and let the rest of it bubble up. And NuCalm has given that to me. So besides the visualization and the planning aspects, it comes down to the stress management. And like we all know in sports and in business and every walk of life, if you're stressed, you're not at your best.
That's brilliant and very good advice. I hope everyone who's watching this is listening. And a lot of times as people age, we share advice and the youth listen to it and it goes in one ear and out the other. And we're just imploring you that you just pay attention to the wisdom of people that have been there. A couple things you bring to light that are important for us to know. Number one, there's the old adage, worry is interest you pay on a debt you don't owe. So when you're thinking 10 steps in the advance, you're already working through the compensation of what you expect is going to happen. But very rarely will those 10 steps fall in order. So you're literally burning calories over what can be. Stop doing that. Secondarily, I just want to educate you on the simplicity and better understanding of what it means to be a human. We have a chessboard as a human, and we have aspects of our brain that we don't understand. But I'm going to share with you how easy this is to understand. The primordial midbrain, called the reptilian brain, resides around here, the temporal region. And in there is something called the amygdala and the HPA axis. The reptilian brain is 40 million years evolved, 40 million years of perfected neural circuitry to protect us. It governs fear, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, and fight or flight. Do you think that might be an important aspect of our brain? It is. This part of our brain, the prefrontal and frontal cortex, separates us from primates. This is where we think. This is our personality. This is our patience. This is our character. This is our executive functioning. This is our logic. This part, ladies and gentlemen, is 4 million years evolved. So every day when we wake up, we fight a battle of a 36 million year head start by fear, stress, anxiety, depression, and worry. And it sabotages us. It puts things in our head that are predicated on fear, not truth. So when you can NuCalm on a regular basis, I believe that the benefit of this technology is not that this is a miracle, be all end all tech. It allows the body to level the playing field, and it gives that 36 million year head start of this part of our brain a rest. When we can oxygenate this part of our brain, this is what mindfulness does. This is why people do yoga, Tai Chi, meditation. They're not doing it because they want to go on this esoteric journey or feel good about themselves or because it's cheap today. They're doing it to allow the body to get into balance. NuCalm does it with external tech, and it does it with a predictable, powerful methodology that mimics nothing else in the world. There's no peer that stands besides NuCalm. This is 32 years of patented, clinically proven neuroscience. But the key is that it liberates you from sabotaging yourself, and everyone listening knows what I'm talking about. The fear, insecurity, worry that we possess in our head is garbage. Let's not waste mental calories thinking about it.
That is profound and wise, and we encourage our viewers and our friends that are watching to please take heed of that. The truer words have never been spoken. Also, two of the aspects that I like, two of the aspects that I think are fantastic with this. One is Restore. That's the one that I use, say midday, and another one is called Ignite. And we think we're going to have a big rollout in professional sports, college sports, sports of all kinds. In addition, to our friends in the business community and all communities, is that Ignite is what you listen to when you're getting off that bus and you're going to the football game. You're walking out of the tunnel and you're going onto the basketball arena. You're getting ready for your young people that are out there in sales and marketing. Maybe you're pulling up to your appointment. You're sitting in the car before you go in. You're 20 minutes early, and you listen to Ignite because it will fire you up. And those of us that know it through sports know that we like to get fired up, but we like to fire up other people. So this is one way now in my later life that I can help fire people up for their day-to-day lives, not just through sports, but business and all activities. So Jim, we just talked a little bit about Restore and Ignite. But will you tell us about the full product offer?
Absolutely. Great question. So one of the cool things about life is the journey we're on. If you've been a part of an incredible team, a championship winning team, it may not be the championship game that really creates the memory pattern. It's the whole journey. It's the process. And a lot of us, we're so eager to achieve our goal, we forget about the process. Well, along the process of creating NuCalm, Dr. Holloway invented a very sophisticated method to entrain and pace brainwave function. Now, for NuCalm specific, we slow it down to alpha and theta, like I discussed. But for Ignite, this was designed from a Premier League soccer club called us up about 5 years ago. It said, hey, we love NuCalm. Our players are restoring faster, they're recovering better. Mentally, there's more clarity. They're, dealing with injuries better. It's amazing. But can you make us something that gets them excited to get on the pitch? Well, when you have the best quantum physicists and neuroscientists in the world, you can make anything. So the answer was yes, we can. So 5 years ago, we enlisted 998 Special Forces operators, Navy SEALs, FBI hostage rescue team, a whole plethora from the DOD and professional athletes. And they signed a confidentiality agreement, and they had a beta test to Ignite. Ignite uses no eye mask, uses no disc. It uses headphones, and we deliver the physics through an app. It oscillates your brain to the highest level of peak performance, which is 39 to 41 hertz. Very fast frequency. What happens to you when you're in that frequency? You have a high intensity, mistake-free focus. The mental acuity is profound. But we also increase dopamine. So your musculature is increased. Your gross motor cortex is activated. Your cerebellum is activated. Your balance is better. Your dexterity is better. You are in a position mentally to perform at your peak level. So all the training, all the muscle memory, all the stuff you've done to build upon what you're trying to achieve is right there for the taking. There's no miss. It's called absolute certainty, and it literally makes you feel like no matter what I choose to work on, I'm going to be successful. So that's Ignite, and that's gamma brainwave function. In November of 2021, we also launched something called Deep Sleep. Deep Sleep simply needs a speaker next to your bed, and it plays this physics with music, and it downregulates your brainwave function to the slowest waveform of deep sleep. So it helps with the onset of sleep and keeps you asleep. Sleep is the most powerful restorative piece of the human biorhythm. Every day we need sleep to restore, to grow, to regenerate, to heal. So in addition to that, a couple weeks ago we launched Focus. Focus is designed to give that mental acuity and clarity and understanding and comprehension and concentration without the active musculature. So for an athlete, typical athlete, we've worked with 54 professional sports teams in the last 12 years. A typical athlete will get up, they'll do NuCalm first. Why? Because they typically don't get great sleep for their travel schedule, their game the night before, and they recover the sleep debt that they created the night before. Then they listen to Ignite. They go about their business, they do their pre-game, or they do their practice, or they do their workout or cardio. Then after they work out, mid-afternoon, they do NuCalm again. Restore, recover, heal, and then before game, during the intermissions of the game, they listen to Ignite to fully activate. So they're using this technology as a tool to upregulate and downregulate their brainwave to create a physiological outcome. Now, you guys do this intrinsically. You don't even know it. When you're low on energy, you might get a coffee or a Red Bull or a Monster drink. All you're doing is accelerating your brainwave using external stimulant. Or you might have a glass of warm milk. Back in the day when people wanted to slow down, they had the warm milk. Or you might go for a run. So we do all this stuff externally. This technology uses physics and mathematics and algorithms through your ears to upregulate and downregulate. For the first time in history, you can change your mental state on demand with no drugs, no side effects.
Welcome to the NuCalm family. My name is Jim Poole. I'm the president and CEO of Solid Sciences, the neuroscience company that makes NuCalm. And what is it? It's simply a technology that when you're feeling stressed or you're not sleeping well, whatever it is that life brings you, NuCalm is a tool that predictably, safely, and reliably is going to take good care of you. Find a comfortable place. Put the disc on, eye mask, choose your track. You're going to lie down. What's going to happen? Your mind's going to wander. But here's how you'll know NuCalm's working. You'll begin to feel your body separate from your mind. Your mind's going to wander, and your body's going to feel heavy, and your respiration's going to slow down. And you're going to go somewhere where your mind just wanders and your body heals. And then at some point, you just kind of come to. Simply take off the eye mask, stop the track, take the disc off, and off you go.
And here they come, and Indiana got to him.
Indiana football is back.
Hoosier fans, Indiana football tickets are on sale now. Catch the action this fall at Memorial Stadium as head coach Tom Allen leads the Hoosiers into battle against 7 different home opponents this season. Purchase your tickets today for the home opener against the Illinois Fighting Illini on Friday, September 2nd. For more information, visit IUHoosiers.com. Support the Hoosiers in 2022. Go IU.
Jim, you obviously have worked with a lot of sports teams through the years on this too. So what I find very interesting is that there's an enormous amount of data that backs the success that you're having too. It's not just a random thing. And I know you mentioned the other day too about the studies you did, like the Chicago Blackhawks and such. So this is not just some wild crapshoot thing. There's hard and true and fast data to go right along with everything, isn't there?
This is some of the most scientific methodology ever created. We have a medical advisory board of 52 of the world's top academicians, scientists, and doctors. Former medical director of the NFL, NASA scientists and mathematicians, Harvard Medical School statistical biophysicists. We have the only patents in the world for balancing the health of your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system manages fear, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, and fight or flight. We have the only patents in the world. We used to be an FDA Class 3 medical device, Health Canada approved, military approved, NSF certified for sport. So as a company, we had to play by the rules of regulation. We had to present all of this data. So you're right. In 2012, 13, and 14, we studied professional athletes versus stage 4 cancer patients to see if that population had a different impact on NuCalm and vice versa. And guess what? It treated you the same way. So if you're the best athlete in peak condition to someone who's dying of stage 4 metastatic cancer, NuCalm did the same thing to you. It simply took your stress level down, erased it, and allowed you to be in a position for balance, healing, and performance.
So also, Jim, one of the things that the production team here is going to run at the end of the show is about the big picture opportunities with NuCalm. So currently we're interviewing prospective partners to join the NuCalm family, the NuCalm team, and help work with us to grow the brand while we work to take the company public. So as you know, in this day and age with all the different types of technologies, of course, through my commercial real estate career, we have prop tech, we have fintech, medical world, we have med tech. So this neuroscience application is something that Jim and I and the team at NuCalm and the board are growing. And you'll be seeing information, as I mentioned at the end of the show today, where you can contact us if you have a company, an organization that you want to improve, you want to lead, you want to get peak performance out of. Because let's face it, when you have a growing company, when you're an executive in a company, when you're in a sales position, and we have many, many people that have chosen sales profession that are viewers of our show, is that time management is key. So with NuCalm, you can hit restore. You can rest for 40 minutes and get several hours worth of sleep while you're visualizing what you need to do the rest of the day. So the way I look at it, I spend 40 minutes on NuCalm. I just picked up 2 hours and 20 minutes from my day. So we all know time management is a key factor in success.
It's a great point. 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. It took me 7 months running this company 13 years ago to realize the equation. To me, as a type A personality, many of you listening are that way. Why would I take a 30-minute break during the day? I got things to do. Then I started doing it. I started realizing, wait a second. When I give myself 30 or 40 minutes, it repays me with 10 hours of clear, efficient work, where the most important things that day remain the most important things. I don't worry about distractions and the little things that aren't going to get me to my goal. This is a really important aspect of mindfulness, of balancing this aspect of our brain that allows us to be present and focus on what's important. That's a great point.
And I assure you, you can NuCalm try and change your life. So Jim, we've known each other as we talked about for quite some time now. And you've worked with the military, you've worked with the Green Beret, you worked with the Navy SEALs, which right there, you had me at the hello, so to speak, but also the professional sports teams. So can you tell us about some of the organizations and individuals that you worked with?
Some of the most rewarding work we do. I mean, when you work with the military and their job is to sacrifice and serve to protect us, it's amazing. America, home of the free because of the brave. So we've been working with the military since 2013. So Air Force Special Operations Command, Green Berets, Border Patrol, BORTAC, BORSTAR, FBI House and Rescue Team, Navy SEALs. Why? Because in their line of work, if they make a mistake or stress sabotages them, they have the potential of dying or one of their team members dying. It's a big deal. And they have to make life decisions within nanoseconds. So when you take stress out of the equation and give them the opportunity to perform at their best and understand exactly what they're trained to do, they win. We took that learning to professional sports, and for the last 12 years, we've worked with 54 professional sports teams. We work with golfers, tennis players. We have a NuCalm Recovery Lounge at the U.S. Open in New York the last 3 years in a row. We work with 58 UFC fighters. We work with the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A. We've been doing this for a long time. Now, you don't hear about that in sports. Why? Because very few athletes will share their competitive secrets. Great. So for us, it's just a matter of, we just want to help people. From cancer patients, people with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, drug and alcohol addictions, trauma, professional athletes, doctors, doesn't matter. So in 2018, Tony Robbins and I trained the Golden State Warriors together. In 2017, we trained the Washington Capitals together. What happened with both teams? They won the World Championships. They won the Stanley Cup. So they use NuCalm and they use Ignite as a tool every day to put them in a peak performance state. Because in professional athletics, it is a millimeter difference between you and winning. Or at the end of the game, you're fatigued emotionally, you get sabotaged, you miss a free throw, and you keep perseverating over that. It changes your muscle memory. It changes because your monkey mind takes over your body. So you can imagine if you can simply play to the next play. That's what everybody talks about, but they don't really understand what that means. No athlete that I've ever worked with is a meditating monk, not a single one. And who could do that? There's no monks playing in the NBA. There's no MBAs who are monks. This technology gives you that tool to erase your bad day, to erase whatever is bothering you, and allow you to be present with every play. This is critical to success and achievement.
And I think the proof is in the pudding with those championships. As I mentioned before, we sure enjoyed watching the Warriors play, see Tony Robbins sitting there front and center on the bench. There's a couple of other applications that are absolutely fascinating to me that I think many people find beneficial. whether you're in sports or you have a 2 or 3 or 2 or 3 year old child. One is for CTE or concussions. There's an application with the neuroscience for concussion relief and rehabilitation. So a huge opportunity for the brand. And another opportunity is with ADD in young children.
So number one is NuCalm downregulates stress. Anytime we have a hematoma, anytime we have any type of traumatic brain injury, concussion, inflammation is the destructive tool. Now it helps us heal, but the body typically brings a tank to a knife fight. What does that mean? It means it brings all of its resources to protect. Your body is a closed loop ecosystem. When we're injured, it brings all of these resources to protect, and it overkills it. So the challenge is, how do we downregulate the stress response? If we can take your stress and remove it, we lower inflammation and we accelerate healing. This is really important in the concussive issues, the TBI, the CTE, because over the course of time, their brain physiology changes because of the contusions in their brain. And we can't see it, so we don't know if it's real. We don't know, hey, maybe there's a bone hole over our eyes. It's real. All you do is look at a PET scan and you can see limited blood flow to key areas of the brain. So NuCalm comes really important in this aspect because all it's doing is lowering inflammation. So the faster we can get the person on NuCalm who just had a concussive act, the faster we remediate the stress response, the faster we heal, and the less damage that occurs. So this is a really important aspect. We've been seeing this in professional sports for 12 years. In fact, NHL hockey team called us, the medical director calls us and said, hey, our guys are healing from concussion really fast. We're not even sure what's happening and how. So we got a neuroscientist on the call and we said, hey, this is what we're doing and why and how. So that's one aspect. And then you mentioned ADD or the entire autism spectrum, autism, Asperger's, ADHD, ADD. A lot of it's derived from a GABA deficiency, GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid. This is an amino acid that helps us downregulate our body. We could easily be overstimulated all the time. If we didn't have GABA in our blood, we would die because we'd never be able to slow down, we'd never sleep. So GABA deficiency is derived over our culture in America not really having the proper food supply for a couple decades, and it's caught up with us through evolution. So when you look at the etiology of how the autism spectrum or ADHD or ADD comes to be, it's typically a deficiency in GABA. The biosignal processing disc in NuCalm, not surprisingly, is GABA. We are supersaturating your brain with the nutrient that we need to be able to downregulate stress. This has been a really impactful aspect of our community and our NuCalm family. And I would say that the child who's suffering from autism, Asperger's, ADHD is greatly benefited immediately, but I see the value in the parents. Because when you're a parent of someone who has Asperger's or autism, you develop something called secondary PTSD, caretaker's trauma. You're never, ever able to take a breath. You're always hypervigilant. You're always in a state of fear. Give your child NuCalm. Let them get some peace of mind. You get peace of mind. Really important aspect. So as a whole, I have a lot of people that come to me and say, hey, so-and-so has Parkinson's or so-and-so has ALS. It doesn't matter the disease state. We're not specifically targeting any disease state. We downregulate stress. So we don't manage stress. We solve the stress problem. When you solve the stress problem, you make everything better. Whether you slow down the depreciation of disease or you improve the quality of life, it all gets better when you take stress out of your life.
That's a great summary, Jim. I will tell you what I'm thrilled about working with you, our other investors, board members to continue to roll this out, to expand our reach and our grasp and to help humankind through NuCalm. So you'll be seeing some things at the end of the show about how you can contact us for more product information, one-off sales, but of course, to our corporate sponsors, our corporate viewers, opportunities to invest with us and take this all to the next level. Jim, it's a pleasure to be here with you today in Atlanta. Always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And what time is it, ladies and gentlemen?
It's Tallen Time. All right, as we're drawing near the end of today's show, we're going to come back and talk to Jim about some other important applications that deal with many household lives, with everyone with their families, and we're going to give you a little bit of a comic relief at the end as well.
NuCalm is neuroscience. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a bedtime story. There are a number of competitors in this space, and once you use NuCalm, you'll find out who the real deal is. You'll benefit greatly from it, and don't be fooled by slick advertising. Go with the science. Science is where it's at.
I had 20 minutes of absolute escapism, peace. I mean, I was in like a twilight. I didn't know where I was or what was happening, but I never wanted it to end.
I can laugh with people. I don't get irritated. I don't get frustrated.
It is accessible. It's affordable. It's something that everyone can do.
Indiana football is back.
Hoosier fans, Indiana football tickets are on sale now. Catch the action this fall at Memorial Stadium as head coach Tom Allen leads the Hoosiers into battle against 7 different home opponents this season. Purchase your tickets today for the home opener against the Illinois Fighting Illini on Friday, September 2nd. For more information, visit IUHoosiers.com. Support the Hoosiers in 2022. Go IU.
So during our last break, Jim and I decided to prove the product out in front of you. So here's Jim and I, NuCalm. My God, Jim, I feel better already. What a wonderful experience. It's great to share this with our audience today. Jim's is deep sleep. Jim, I thought you were on Ignite. I'm on Ignite. Look at me. You're on deep sleep.
I'm on deep sleep.
All right, I'm sorry to disturb you. Anyway, a little comic relief on today's show, but trust me, try NuCalm, you'll love it. So, Jim, as we wrap up today, there are 2 questions. Is the product safe for everybody? You know, what are the age groups? Are there any limitations or anyone that shouldn't try it? And then at the same time, can you talk a little bit about the pricing structure for the audience as well?
Terry, that's a great question. Thank you. NuCalm is the world's safest neuroscience technology, contraindicated for nothing. There's no way for NuCalm to hurt you. From in utero, carrying a baby, to 100 years old. From every disease state known to mankind, it doesn't matter. The way I look at it is simple. Stress doesn't discriminate. Every single one of us has the same human stress response. It's the external stimulation that's different. And NuCalm, using biochemistry and physics, all natural method to mimic the body's natural pathways used to prepare you for sleep. All we're doing is a mimic of how the body naturally behaves, and we're liberating our monkey mind. According to the monks, we have 1,000 thoughts an hour, many of whom don't come from us. They're externally derived. So NuCalm is safe for everybody. It is easy to use. It used to be a $6,000, difficult to use, 4-component Class II medical device. And last year, we changed the game. We brought the price down by 99%. You literally can join the NuCalm family through 5 subscriptions, the cheapest one being $1.67 a day. So you can join the NuCalm family. You can begin to make a stress management protocol really important in your life. Because if you don't manage stress, it's going to manage you. And it's pretty much how all of us live. And you can see it in today's pace in our culture.
As we wrap up today, there's a lot of competition in everything we do in our lives. And I think I'm certain NuCalm will help you in your competitive aspects of your life as well as many others. As you know, we have competitors in this space. And today, in honor of my great friend and ex-coach, Coach Corso, we're going to pick a winner in this space. And it's easy in a sense to pick a winner because we're the only one with neuroscience. But the fact of the matter is, here's who we're predicting in this space.
Bingo!
NuCalm.
Woo-hoo!